Is he done?
Your Honor, I have submitted a green sheet. We're asking for an adjournment. Ms. Dunn has a assessment at the Sacred Heart treatment facility tomorrow. I do have verification here. It's the Sacred Heart program that's up in Richmond, which I think is up in northern Macomb County. It looks like it's their model is a 12-step type approach. It is inpatient.
On an amphetamine of some type?
Excuse me, Judge?
On an amphetamine of some type?
You mean prescribed? Yeah, I don't believe so.
UHO, the judge just locked onto the biggest red flag in the room, the field drug test. And notice how fast the tone changes here. The defense is trying to focus on treatment and recovery. But the court is focused on one thing, accountability. Right now, when a defendant can't confidently say they'll test clean today, judges start thinking about risk, not promises. Question for you guys. Should courts prioritize rehab?
I haven't used, I know that, but I don't know.
I think she's, it's my understanding she doesn't know the half-life of it, Your Honor. I believe her initial test was
That was you saying?
or the 5th. Well, she
When's
did,
the last time did you use?
It was a couple days ago. That's why I'm seeking in-house treatment. Your Honor.
Your Honor, I do have documentation here that she is seeking to address the root cause of any of this behavior. Like I said, she has an intake tomorrow. I can it's at 1 p.m. That's in Richmond. She is here this issue today. I offer it to the.
If she tests on the 6th, she's positive on the 6th. I'm now here on the 12th, and she's using by the 10th. I have no guarantee that she's going to make it even to treatment.
Yeah, I promise you I will have my 4 kids with me, sir. Your Honor.
Your Honor, she has a lot at stake.
I understand that, including her life.
This is the emotional turning point of the hearing. You can hear the desperation in her voice. She's trying to convince the judge she has too much to lose. But in bond hearings, emotion alone usually isn't enough. Courts want proof someone will follow the rules, not just heartfelt promises. And then comes the brutal courtroom reality. One sentence can completely flip the outcome. Watch closely. Because the judge is about to give a partial win, followed immediately by a devastating consequence.
Defendant Nick Bukovich on behalf of Ms. Thompson, who is now approaching. Can you please state your name for the record?
Lucreta Thompson.
What are we doing? You're seeking an adjournment?
Yes, I am seeking an adjournment, Your Honor. And I'm prepared to address the corrections report.
Pardon?
I said there was a note for community corrections reports. I'm prepared to address that.
And on February 22nd, she blew numbers. We're at her 3 blows, then she took an EEG the next day. It came back.
Yes, Your Honor. In addressing the alleged violation, my client does admit to drinking on that 22nd date. It was unfortunately she did lose a friend of 24 years, someone she worked for and has known for a very long time. And unfortunately, as part of the grieving process, she does admit she did have a moment of weakness and there was a mistake and she did drink. She is working very hard on maintaining the good strides she has made in her life. She currently works 2 jobs, one where she works approximately 12-hour shifts on her feet at a manufacturing factory. She has done community service. She attends AA meetings. I actually do have AA sign-in sheet that I can provide to the court and the prosecution. She attends them both in person when she's able to, and on Zoom when her work schedule does not allow her to make in-person dates. I do want to note, prior to being placed on the prior to being placed on the sober link, she did have no violations on the Scram tether. She had to be placed on the sober link due to issues with her ankle, and that was why at the previous PCC date you allowed her to switch over to the sober link. I do note I do understand there are several late tests. However, I do want to note several of those tests she did test within 10 minutes after the time frame occurred. I think 7 of those total. And for all of those late tests, she was negative. She does, as I indicated, work on a manufacturing line. So sometimes there are moments where she cannot physically step away from that line due to the ongoing working process, as it would be obviously a process issue for the process of work, but also for safety down the line. She has indicated that she has reached out to her supervising agent to discuss these matters when she does have a late test. She is actually working on obtaining a house and was actually supposed to assign on that house today. She is doing a lot of work to improve her life, continue doing what she must. And I think it is clear that she is attempting to do with everything within her power to comply with the bond conditions. So at this time, Your Honor, I would be requesting that she have a second chance and that her PR bond be maintained.
Any response to the people?
And here's the pattern the judge clearly isn't willing to tolerate anymore. The court already gave her a break by switching from a tether to SoberLink. But repeated violations, even late tests, can destroy judicial trust fast. What makes this moment hit hard is that her attorney actually presented a strong mitigation argument to jobs, EA meetings, community service, grief counseling. But sometimes judges see repeated non-compliance as proof the system's patience has run out. Do you think the judge made the right call here? Or should she have gotten one more chance?